Citadel of Peril is known to be one of the most ruthless and stress-inducing citadels in jtoh history. If you want to have the slightest chance of beating the citadel, you have to think on your feet. You gotta move fast, or else the rising lava will eventually eat you up like a free sample. In this video, I plan on showing you guys my incredibly lucky experience with this citadel. If you've never tried this citadel before, I recommend sticking to the end, as I have a few tips to share in case you ever want to tackle this in the future. With all that being said, let's get on with the video. So I immediately joined, and this whole rank got inverted colors. Maybe this is a sign that I get very lucky when I do Citadel of Peril. This seems like a little bit of foreshadowing. Basically, we are here in Citadel of Peril, and we gotta keep running so that we don't get suffocated by the lava, guys. So floor 1 has really basic jumps. There's not really much to talk about, but I want to show you guys a little skip that I do here, because to be honest, it just makes you not do some unnecessary jumps. And to be honest, that's the only skip I really use throughout the tower, so if you want to find any skips, this isn't really the video for you. But essentially now what I want to do is get this button, and then I jump onto this Sword Fight of the Heights ring. And yeah, now we continue going on forth. We have the spinner, very easy. I'm pretty sure this was nerfed, but it's nowhere near peak remorseless. I grab this button and backtrack. It activates this X pusher, which I can use to safely go up to the next floor. Welcome to floor 2. The music doesn't change because it's copyrighted. After you get past that really easy section, now you have one of these little one stud lookalike thingies, and now you have this little wall that you have to rotate and then use it so you can use that as a platform to get to the next button. Now this next section is really easy, but it's pretty long. You have to kind of stay in these platforms and just take the damage on some parts because they're a little complicated. This one isn't, but there's a little section afterwards that has pretty, this one. This little rope platform, it's really hard to avoid the damage, and the platform's really wobbly anyways, so just focus on staying in the platform, and hopefully you have heavily desired item or something so you can heal up, get healthy, and just keep going. This floor is actually you need skill. After this section, I had a lot of technical difficulties. I got a new editor and learned it, so if I sound different or if the video looks a bit different, well, now you know. And we're back, everyone. Welcome to floor 3, and I really like this floor's soundtrack for some reason. But anyways, we start by pushing this ball into the button. Very easy stuff. And now we go on over here, and we have some purist jumps that will test your raw skill. For some reason, I almost failed this. I don't know why I flicked so long. Don't do what I did. And I really like these neon platforms. I don't know why. This is the only tower that has those types of platforms. They're really cool. And the notable part after this floor is these levitating wraps. T-pose helps with them. I know I didn't use it in this clip, but this floor was pretty short. Let's get on to floor 4. So head on to the McDonald's looking arch and then hop on the spinning platform, or not. So for this attempt, I learned from my mistakes. I took my time on the flicks, and I took my time on the spinners too. So now we can actually start floor 4. So start by heading on these spinners. Don't worry about that kill brick wall and any of these kill brick walls. They're not can't collide true. You won't bump into it. And now we have this huge spinner. Jump onto it, stay on it, and then jump to this button, then go down to this platform, and then wait for it to carry you. And do the same with this platform. And now you're done with the spinner, which is pretty nice. And now that floor was really short, let's get on to my personal favorite, this floor. So this floor is my favorite floor of the Citadel, and it sucks because it wasn't made by a nice person. But anyways, we head on over here. The gimmick is that you kind of have to escape this floor before the smoke hinders your vision, and hitting these lightning blocks will light up the place so the smoke doesn't impede your vision. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm getting these lighting blocks so I can progress on this floor. I don't want to be overshadowed by the darkness. So we got our first button here, and now since the lighting is going to drop, I take this optional route for just more lighting for about 40 seconds. I personally take this because 40 seconds is a lot. I backtrack, and personally I like to ladder flick this ladder just for fun. And I probably shouldn't because I'm just so inconsistent with constant ladder flicking. Okay, so inconsistencies aside, we're just going right on fourth. And this wrap is really hard, but luckily I was able to recover myself. So I took my time and I did it. So now we're actually on our path to the next button. So now it's right on top of that platform we entered in, and now we backtrack. And the darkness consumed me, so I took this route again just to get extra lighting. I wouldn't even recommend taking this route again because there's a button later on that's easy to find. But anyways, up this ramp, we do this wrap, do this flick, and that's that button I was talking about. We'll just ignore it for now. And now we have this X pusher wrap thing. It's very easy and my strat was just awful for it. This part, I love it so much. It's one of my favorites in the Citadel. I just drop down whenever I'm too close to the ceiling. And don't worry about failing it, it doesn't even send you back that far. This lava is also really kind too. The lava just bumps you up and you barely lose any progress. But now we hit that green button, which now makes it so that we don't have to hit any lighting platforms at all. So now we backtrack. So if you fall on the later floors but you already have that green button lit up, you don't have to do all of that. You don't have to do that button hunt. So it's nice to get that little progress just in case you fall. Now we are on this floor. So do these little walkarounds. Hopefully you know how to do them by now. And now climb up to that ledge because for some reason that jump is really long. Do these seesaws, but remember that it's a seesaw. So if you stand on the first platform for too long, the other one will just shoot up and then you can't wrap on it. We go to this X pusher section. We have to avoid the neon outlines because those just push your X pusher back. And don't worry about falling because there's a net under you. So then we just backtrack. So now we go on this ladder, and this section is also really cool. It's like power generation failures, no gravity section. And now we go through here. It's just annoying, like cramped gameplay. It's not anything too hard. And now we get to here. For some reason that jump up there is really high, so you might fail it a couple of times. And now go to these spinners. Be extra careful because if you fall, you might fall into the lava. And now we have this spinner section, which I think is netted, so you should be fine. But once again, we don't want that lava catching up to us, so still don't fall. Now we have more elevator wraps. Did you miss this gimmick? Well, now I'm actually using T-pose, so use T-pose, everyone. This is kind of like a review of what we learned before. And I panicked because I hit that lava, but we're all good. And now we're up to the next floor. So this is where things kind of start to ramp up. So we have another no gravity section. Get that button and now go down in the same place where you started. And you may realize there's a lot of backtracking in this Citadel. Now take this conveyor, it's not so bad, there's walls pushing you in case you go too far. Now go up to these platforms, be extra careful, and now this floor is kind of like a break floor in a sense. We have to find 3 hammers that are scattered around this floor. Since getting these hammers kind of reminds me of the average Roblox event, I'm going to edit like Connor 3D for a second. Oof. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened. I think I lost my voice for a second. Oh, I forgot, I'm making a Citadel of Peril video. Anyways, you know those Mario levels where the level just kind of scrolls on its own and you kind of have to dodge the obstacles? That's the best way I can describe this floor. And yes, we will still be on the same floor for a while. This is the longest floor of the Citadel, so I hope you brought popcorn, because this floor is incredibly long. So for this part, you kind of want to wait for the wall to actually reveal the button, so just trail along it. I shift lock through the wall so you can see it, but there it is. So after you get that button, you backtrack yet again, and you want to get on these elevator platforms. But don't rely on them for too long because you're eventually gonna have to go back anyways. Here is a good spot to wait for. You don't have to go all the way, remember that. Now we're really just waiting for the little like thin studs that are located close to the wall. Also, do you remember Tower of Rage? This is him now. Do you feel old yet? Let's keep going. I remembered my lesson from last time, so I'm going slow on these spinners. Now, there is a really boring push box section. Just remember that the lava doesn't despawn the block. Now, we have this really slow moving platform. It's super slow. Just grab that button and head on back. These are just basic wraps and jumps, not much to say. Here, I almost died because the lava kind of pushes me over that hole. That was so rude and disrespectful. Now, this short section before the next floor is the calm before the storm. It's pretty easy, but enjoy the break while it lasts. The next floor could be your worst enemy or your best friend depending on your skill sets. Welcome to floor 9. Now, this floor, you could describe it as purest hell. Use T-pose once ledge grabbing off this, just so it doesn't bounce you off for no reason. And now we have cramped gameplay. If you play EToH, Tower of Inevitable Failure, you'll be used to this, but you have some steep wraps over some cramped jumps. So we continue doing basic jumps, and we go on these conveyors. They're not so fast, but still be careful on them, they're kind of finicky. And now we have more ladders. So now we have these moving platforms, and by the looks of it, these moving platforms, you have to kind of wait for it to push onto the wall before you can jump onto the next one. Now here in this ladder, I tend to hold W and A as I flick 180 degrees. That always works for me, but it might not work for you, so I recommend finding a better strat. Now this outside, it's super easy, but it could soft lock you because of how these platforms move. If you were to fall on the later floors and you might have to redo that outside again, you might not be able to even recover. But let's continue going. Do not just try to avoid the kill breaks, trust me, these spinners are so fast that you don't want to do that. We have this really steep wraps, I hope you're good at purism. And for this button, I don't like to take my chances, so I spin the wall until I get a good rotation, because to be honest, there's no point in risking that. Doesn't matter if it's an easy section. Now here is some more purist gameplay, but you gotta be fast. Do not wait because that button isn't that very lenient. And now welcome to floor 10. We're getting closer by the second. You'll notice that now we're actually having some red design choices. So that's pretty nice, and I assume that's because we're getting closer to the summit of the volcano. But anyways, this floor starts off with purest gameplay over a net. You love to see the nets. I feel like the nets are a nice break for the floors that are coming up next. But anyways, we have this spinner, and you really want to be careful on these spinner because you really don't want to fall in this section. Trust me, you do not. So avoid these walls. It can be hard to kind of see them coming up. And now we have this huge section. This big tube might act as a safety net for the later floors. But in order to actually achieve this safety net, we have to do 4 risky button challenges. But in actuality, the only risky ones are 1 and 2. But anyways, you can follow me here. First I wrap around here, wrap again, I wrap again. Shoot, that was the wrong wrap. And then I wrap again. It can be hard to kind of see where you have to jump. so you can just follow me. And just remember, for 1, you can't really fall down there. There's barely anything to catch you. Just like that, we've done 1, we hit that button, easy peasy. Now we do 2. I like to go in orders 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it in any order as you please. 2 is also just as risky, but test a different skill set. Jump on this tightrope. I wouldn't take my time on it because of the lava. And just like that, we have 2. We got the button pressed. It's a little easier to follow than 1. And now we're going to the easiest button challenge, which is 3. It's pretty much safety netted. This wrap can be very hard, but all you really have to do is set it up. And it's safety netted too. So 3 was very easy. Now we have 4. There's only 2 jumps that might suck for you in 4. One is this kind of falling jump, and we do this wrap. And this jump might also suck. It's a jump on a slope, but we did that. And now we jump over the spinner, and then we get our final button. So now we have a great safety net and some really decent button progress. So that's always a great thing. And that little pipe kind of reminds me of Citadel of Green stuff. I don't know why. And welcome to floor 11. We're almost done here. Do some basic wraps, and this acts like a momentum jump, but you don't even have to jump. I feel like there's an invisible net there, so you just don't jump on that X pusher. Now we have spinners, we have wraps. This wrap kinda sucks onto that ladder. It's not good. Now we have even more wraps, but you can't hit your head. This wrap can be hard to see, so I recommend doing it in first person. And now we have even more spinners, with just wrap as you would. Now we have even more elevator platforms, so jump on them and be cautious. Jump on this cylinder. Now jump on this other one. Oh my gosh. And just like that, I had the biggest heart attack in jtoh history. I now have to redo the middle of floor 10 all the way back up there because the lava was right there, and this section, it could soft lock you, but luckily it didn't soft lock me. The platforms were just oriented to help me out. It was almost like, I don't know, the jtoh dev finally gave me that luck I was promising for a while. But anyways, okay, now in this button, the platforms coincidentally were perfectly aligned for me. That was great. But I'm not gonna bore you guys with all the deets of me going up and up back to floor 11. Just know that I just didn't think I would do it, but I did it. Well, I guess we're back into floor 12. And yeah, so if you've done Tower of Never-Ending Dizziness, this part's gonna be so easy for you. And now we have Plastic Killbrick Evasion. If you haven't invested in heavily desired item, I heavily recommend you to invest in it because, to be honest, there is no downside and it makes parts like these incredibly less stressful. So now we have sphere wraps. They are a lot easier than some spheres we've done in earlier floors. And now we have these spinning jumps. This is just like a review of what we've done before. So now we have this kind of circular wrap. It is very easy. And then we go down here and then we jump onto this ladder. Now we have these triangle wedges, which I really like. I really like the using of these wedges. I think they're pretty cool. And now we jump on these poles. So jump on them and now keep jumping. We do simple jumps. And welcome to floor 13. And floor 13 is an easy floor, but it's good to know where you have to go. So once you click this button, it'll give you 100 seconds. But don't worry, because if you know where to go, this is not even a challenge for you. So grab this button, drop down, and follow this arrow. Now do this wrap, very easy. Now keep going. Remember to be a little fast because you don't want to get suffocated by the lava, like I said in floor 1. And now we get into this section, which is kind of like Tower of Impossible Expectations. So now, jump on the spinner. We need to get both of those buttons so we can actually progress. And now we go back. And now we get our final button, which we have to wedge through these weirdly placed rectangles. Jump onto that thin stud, and we are in the floor that makes Citadel of Peril the Citadel of Peril. So enjoy this light sieve floor. This floor acts like your final test. Okay, so head up on this truss and get to the other side of it. And now go on these platforms. They are very easy and you can take your time on it. You don't have to rush them like I'm doing because the lava doesn't rise yet. And now we have these spinners. I nearly got a heart attack here. Instead of doing what I'm doing, you can save yourself by standing on that Can Collide True kill break and waiting for the timing. And now hop onto that ladder and flick. Now go into this tightrope, and this tightrope brings you to this conveyor section. It's very useful to have crystal here. I used it here so you have good health, because to be honest, these conveyors do not even give you any time to heal. They do not like to joke around. And now I like to wait for this moving platform because I don't like to take chances. I know this kill break spinner is absolutely obliterating me. And now this button will decide your fate. Now the lava's gonna start rising, but don't worry, you don't have to literally speedrun this floor, because from my experience, it's actually pretty slow and kind of lenient. But obviously, don't let the pressure get to you. Keep going as so. Jump on these spinners. Personally, I find them a little easier. And after you're done, jump onto that block, because that block is very stable and you can just jump on the truss afterwards. These gap jumps, if you play Tower of Eternal Suffering, you'll be pretty good at these. Just jump up. And now we have this X pusher. Press this button, and this button is not lenient at all. Like, you have to go on these thin platforms. It's very easy gameplay, but it's very easy to fall here because one, you have to go quick, so aligning can be tough, and these neon platforms kind of blend in with the lava. I wish they added some drop shadow or something, but anyways, keep going, tread carefully through this X pusher. You don't want to get pushed off and hate your life because you failed an easy section. Just even more purism just to end things off. You do not want to fall here. Even if there's a safety net, you can't recover. Do these walkarounds. And now this is kind of my favorite part of this floor. I just really like these wraps where you just weave in and out. I think they're really satisfying. So now this is the final stretch. You can see the roof from the next floor. And I'm climbing up this final truss, and oh my gosh, I seriously just went the wrong side. Are you serious? Delaying my victory by a couple of seconds. But once you reach floor 15, this is pretty much GG. This floor, it doesn't have anything different than what we've learned from the past, but I do recommend a lot of healing items just to make it less annoying. So yeah, commentating on this floor isn't really necessary, but I'll comment on just a little bit of annoying jumps in this floor. I feel like the most annoying part of this floor are these spinners that don't really carry you, but you have to kind of awkwardly stand on them. And now this spinner sucks. The platforms, it makes you go on wobbly platforms and sometimes it can desync, but just know the spinners can't collide true and just jump over them. And now this is yet again a moving platform that doesn't carry you. And now in this section you have a place to heal up. I would recommend just going down here, healing up to 100 before you get into the last section, because it can really annihilate your health. And this is the last of the moving platforms. I think this one's the most annoying. Just keep jumping on it. Do the final truss flick, the final truss bounce. And you have the final wrap after this X pusher. Do not overthink it. Please do not. I've seen people set it up like it's a 4-stud. Trust me, it's just a 3-stud stick out. You've done a lot harder. And just like that, we're riding the zip line to victory. And now we witness this beautiful explosion, which I recommend taking advantage of because no other Citadel has an ending like this. So thank you all for sticking around for the whole 23-minute video. If you skipped around, then I can't judge you. I mean, it's 24 minutes just about. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I normally wouldn't sub beg, but this video took a literal month to make. So I would appreciate if you guys subscribed or liked. And yeah, that's a peak remorseless. I don't want this to seem like, oh, I beat a peak remorseless in like 2 attempts. Wow, I'm so good at the game. It's not that, but it's more of like a guide to teach you guys to do what I did. Yeah, just I hope you guys enjoyed this guide, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. Bye.